Everyone's talking about stocking up, but most are just copying last year's grocery list. The truth? In June 2025, the shortages won't hit where you expect. While the headlines scream about eggs and wheat, the smartest preppers are already collecting the foods no one's watching. These aren't the usual pantry fillers. They're nutrient-packed, shelf-stable, and critically overlooked. If you're still focused on rice and canned beans, you might miss the real essentials when it matters most. In this video, we reveal 15 stealth survival foods that could mean the difference between just getting by and staying 10 steps ahead. This isn't your average survival food list. These 15 items are the stealth picks, nutrient-dense, long-lasting, and ridiculously underrated. While everyone else fights over flour and canned chili, you'll be sitting on the real essentials. We've tracked what experienced preppers are quietly buying first, and now we're handing you the list. Before we start, drop a comment and let us know. What city or country are you watching from? It helps us see how far this prepping community really stretches. And who knows, you might find a fellow prepper near you. Let's dive in. Number 1. Waxed hard. Cheese's cheese probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you think of long-term survival food. But certain types of waxed hard cheeses flip the script. When stored properly, they can last months to years without refrigeration, offering protein, fat, flavor, and even calcium in a compact, shelf-stable form. Let's be clear, we're not talking about your standard shredded cheddar or cream cheese. We're talking aged, low-moisture cheeses like Parmesan, Gouda, and aged cheddar sealed in wax. This traditional preservation method creates a barrier against air and bacteria, keeping the cheese safe and edible even in warm conditions. As of May 2025, a 1-ounce serving of aged cheddar provides around 115 calories, 7 grams of protein, and 9 grams of fat, a powerful combo in survival nutrition. These cheeses also contain essential nutrients like calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin K2, which support bone health and energy metabolism. Storage is simple. Keep waxed cheese in a cool, dry, and dark place, ideally around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. With proper conditions, shelf life can extend 6 months to a year, and some preppers have reported safe consumption well beyond that. You can buy pre-waxed cheese or wax your own at home using food-grade cheese wax, which is reusable and inexpensive. It's a DIY-friendly way to take a luxury food and make it grid-down ready. Cheese also scores high on morale. The rich flavor and creamy texture provide a break from bland rations, boosting both appetite and mood. In survival mode, high-fat, high-protein foods are rare. Waxed hard cheese is one of the few that delivers both, with zero electricity required. Number 2. Canned pink. Salmon canned meats often get a bad rap in survival circles. Bland, sodium-packed, and barely edible. But canned pink salmon is the quiet exception. It's nutrient-dense, flavorful, and incredibly shelf-stable, making it one of the smartest protein sources you can store long-term. Let's break it down. As of May 2025, a 3.75-ounce can of pink salmon delivers around 180 calories, 20 grams of protein, and over 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. That's brain-boosting, heart-protective fat your body actually needs, especially in high-stress, low-nutrition scenarios. It also contains important minerals like calcium, from the soft edible bones, selenium, and vitamin D, nutrients that are hard to come by in shelf-stable foods. Unlike tuna, which can become mushy or overly metallic, canned pink salmon has a richer texture and flavor profile. It's excellent cold, warmed up, or mixed into simple survival meals like rice, pasta, or biscuits. And because it's fully cooked, there's zero prep. Just open the can and eat. Shelf life is another win. Unopened, canned salmon can last 5 to 6 years, sometimes longer, without refrigeration. That's long enough to span almost any emergency scenario, from power grid failures to prolonged supply chain breakdowns. It's also lower in mercury than many other canned fish, making it safer for long-term consumption. Plus, most pink salmon is wild-caught and processed with minimal additives, something health-conscious preppers will appreciate. Cost-wise, it's still relatively affordable, averaging around $2.50 to $3.50 per can, though prices have begun creeping up due to increasing demand and fishing restrictions. Barter value? High. Protein is always in demand during shortages, and few shelf-stable proteins offer both the nutrition and palatability of canned salmon. If your food storage plan is light on healthy fats and complete protein, canned pink salmon is your low-effort, high-reward solution. Number 3. Powdered eggs. In any long-term survival situation, fresh eggs are one of the first luxuries to disappear. They're fragile, highly perishable, and nearly impossible to store without refrigeration. That's where powdered eggs come in. These aren't just a backup. They're a near-perfect substitute for the real thing. And they're changing the way serious preppers approach protein storage. Let's look at the facts. As of May 2025, 2 tablespoons of powdered whole eggs, equivalent to 1 large egg, provide about 70 calories, 6 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, and essential vitamins like A, D, B12, and choline. That makes them one of the few shelf-stable foods that deliver both complete protein and critical micronutrients in a highly usable form. Powdered eggs are made by spray-drying fresh eggs into a fine powder. The result is a product that, when stored properly in sealed containers with oxygen absorbers, can last up to 10 to 15 years unopened. Once opened, the shelf life drops to around 6 months, still excellent by prep standards. Versatility is another major strength. Reconstitute powdered eggs with water, and they can be used for scrambling, baking, or even adding richness to soups, casseroles, and pancakes. Unlike MREs or heavily processed survival bars, powdered eggs feel like real food, and that has a powerful impact on morale during prolonged emergencies. They also pack tightly. A single number 10 cans of powdered eggs contains the equivalent of 90 to 100 eggs, with no need for refrigeration, packaging waste, or handling risk. That's a massive protein reserve in just one container. Cost varies by brand and quality, but expect to pay around $25 to $35 per can, an investment that pays off when fresh eggs hit $6 plus per dozen, or vanish entirely during supply chain disruptions. For barter, powdered eggs are gold. They're rare, valuable, and universally recognized, making them one of the best high-protein trade goods in any crisis scenario. If you're prepping for the long haul, powdered eggs aren't just convenient, they're essential. You're not just storing food, you're storing freedom. Number 4. Nut butters. Peanut butter is usually the go-to, but the world of nut butters is much bigger and smarter when it comes to prepping. Whether it's almond, sunflower, or cashew, nut butters are some of the most calorie-dense, shelf-stable, and ready-to-eat foods you can stock. They don't just fill you up, they power you through. Let's talk numbers. As of May 2025, 2 tablespoons of natural almond butter provide roughly 190 to 200 calories, 7 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat, and a good dose of vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy monounsaturated fats. That's an energy bomb in a compact serving, ideal for situations where food is scarce but physical demand is high. Unlike many canned goods or grains, nut butters require zero prep. No cooking, no water, no equipment. Open the jar and you're good to go. That makes them perfect for bug-out bags, vehicle kits, or shelter-in-place reserves. They're also shelf-stable for up to 2 years unopened, and often longer if stored in cool, dark conditions. Once opened, they'll last several months without refrigeration, especially the no-stir, stabilized types. And this isn't just about peanut butter. Almond butter is great for those avoiding legumes. Sunflower seed butter works for nut allergies. Cashew butter offers a smoother texture and subtle flavor, ideal for rationing over time without food fatigue. Nut butters also play well with others. Spread it on hardtack, stir into oatmeal, mix into smoothies, or even add to noodles for high-calorie, protein-rich meals. Their versatility helps stretch limited supplies without sacrificing variety. They also hold strong barter potential. When people hit flavor fatigue and sugar cravings, a sealed jar of nut butter becomes more than food. It becomes comfort, energy, and trade value all in one. Yes, jars take up space and can be heavy, but calorie for calorie, very few foods match the efficiency of nut butters in survival planning. Nut butters aren't just snacks. They're fuel, nutrition, and morale packed in a jar. And when it counts, that's exactly what you'll need. Number 5, millet. When people think of survival grains, they usually go straight to rice or oats. But if you're building a smart, resilient pantry, millet needs to be on your radar. It's one of the most underrated grains out there. Gluten-free, nutrient-rich, easy to cook, and built for long-term storage. Let's start with the numbers. As of May 2025, 1 cup of cooked millet delivers about 207 calories, 6 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, and is a good source of magnesium, phosphorus, and B vitamins. That means it fuels your body with slow-burning carbs while supporting nervous system function, bone health, and energy metabolism, essential during physically demanding times. Millet is also one of the easiest grains to prepare. It cooks in about 20 minutes, doesn't require soaking, and can be made over a small campfire, portable stove, or even in solar cookers. Its mild, nutty flavor makes it incredibly versatile. Use it as a rice substitute, in porridge, as a binder in patties, or even in baked goods. When food fatigue sets in, millet helps break the monotony. Now, the real prepper bonus, shelf life. When stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, whole millet can last up to 10 years. Millet flour, while shorter lived, still holds up for 1 to 2 years when stored properly. It's also a low moisture grain, which means less risk of spoilage and mold. It's also climate resilient. Millet grows in arid environments with minimal water, so if you're into long-term sustainability or even off-grid homesteading, it's a crop worth considering. It's also safe for those with gluten sensitivities or celiac disease, an often overlooked consideration in emergency planning. At around $1 to $1.50 per pound in bulk, millet offers serious value per calorie, and because it's still off most people's radar, you won't find shortages or price spikes yet. Millet isn't just an alternative to rice. It's a strategic upgrade for anyone prepping with nutrition, efficiency, and longevity in mind. Number 6. Jerky. When you're on the move or the power's out, few foods can match the convenience and punch of jerky. Lightweight, calorie-dense, and shelf-stable, jerky is the go-to protein for preppers who value mobility without sacrificing nutrition. As of May 2025, 1 ounce of beef jerky provides around 116 calories, 9 grams of protein, and 7 grams of fat, depending on the cut and seasoning. That's a solid energy hit from a product that takes up virtually no space and needs no cooking. Jerky's greatest strength lies in its portability. Whether it's beef, turkey, venison, or even plant-based alternatives, properly dried jerky can last up to 2 years without refrigeration, longer if vacuum sealed or stored in Mylar with oxygen absorbers. This makes it ideal for bug-out bags, glove compartments, or emergency bins. It also requires zero prep, no water, no heat, just open and eat. In a crisis scenario, that kind of immediacy is invaluable, especially when fuel or clean water are limited. Beyond nutrition, jerky's high salt content can actually help replenish electrolytes, which are easily lost during physical exertion, and its savory, chewy texture offers psychological comfort, something many shelf-stable foods lack. While commercial jerky can get pricey, currently averaging $1.50 to $2 per ounce, homemade versions are far more economical. With a dehydrator, lean meat, and simple seasoning, you can batch your own high-protein rations tailored to your dietary needs and storage preferences. Barter-wise, a jerky also holds strong value. It's instantly edible, familiar, and always in demand, qualities that become currency in uncertain times. If you're building a survival kit for speed, strength, and simplicity, jerky deserves a front-row seat. Number 7. Instant coffee. For some, it's a morning ritual. For others, it's a lifeline. In a survival situation, instant coffee is more than just a comfort. It's a functional, compact, morale-boosting essential that earns its place in any prepper's long-term plan. Let's start with the obvious: caffeine. As of May 2025, a single teaspoon of instant coffee contains about 30 to 90 milligrams of caffeine, depending on the brand and roast. That's enough to boost alertness, reduce fatigue, and improve mental clarity. Benefits that become critical when you're dealing with high-stress environments, disrupted sleep, or long hours of physical labor. But it's not just about staying awake. Coffee has mild appetite-suppressing effects, helps stimulate digestion, and may even improve physical endurance. For preppers, these perks translate directly into increased efficiency when resources are tight and rest is limited. From a logistical standpoint, instant coffee is a dream product. It requires no brewing, minimal water, and zero equipment. Just add hot water, stir, and drink. It's lightweight, shelf-stable, and available in both jars and individual sachets, making it perfect for bug-out bags, car kits, or off-grid cabins. Shelf life, that's a major win. When stored in a cool, dry place, sealed instant coffee can last up to 20 years without losing potency or flavor. It doesn't go stale like ground beans, and doesn't require grinding or filters. And don't underestimate its barter value. When the luxuries vanish and comfort becomes currency, coffee becomes a highly desirable trade item, especially among caffeine-dependent populations. For those thinking ahead, consider storing both regular and decaf options. Decaf might sound like a luxury now, but it offers warmth and psychological comfort without overstimulating the body. valuable in evening hours or for those sensitive to caffeine. In survival mode, a hot cup of coffee is more than routine. It's strategy. Number 8. Dehydrated vegetables. When it comes to smart prepping, dehydrated vegetables are the silent heavy hitters. They take up almost no space, weigh next to nothing, and, most importantly, retain most of their nutrients for years. If your emergency pantry is all carbs and canned meat, you're missing the vital balance these veggies bring. Dehydrated vegetables aren't the same as freeze-dried. They're sliced, dried at low heat, and preserved without chemicals or additives. As of May 2025, a single cup of rehydrated carrots provides around 50 calories, 1 gram of protein, and key vitamins like A and K. Add peas, spinach, onions, or bell peppers, and you've got color, texture, and essential nutrients without needing refrigeration. The biggest advantage? Shelf life. Properly stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, dehydrated vegetables can last up to 20 years. That's 2 decades of preserved nutrition ready for soups, stews, rice dishes, or even scrambled eggs. No chopping, peeling, or spoilage required. They're also easy to portion. Add a handful to boiling water, and within minutes, you've rehydrated something that tastes fresh, adds bulk, and boosts nutritional value. In survival situations, this kind of simplicity saves both time and fuel. Dehydrated vegetables are also excellent for rotating stock. Unlike canned goods that expire within a few years, these are a true long-haul investment. And in a pinch, they can be used as bartering tools, especially once fresh produce becomes hard to find. Whether you're building out a bug-in pantry or packing a bug-out bag, dehydrated veggies offer an unbeatable balance of weight, shelf life, and nutrition. They're not flashy, but when your meals need balance and your body needs fuel, they quietly do the heavy lifting. Smart prepping isn't just about calories, it's about complete, lasting nutrition. Number 9. Cocoa powder. In a world of emergency rations and freeze-dried meals, few things feel indulgent. But cocoa powder? That's a survival wildcard that checks far more boxes than most realize. It's not just a treat, it's a mental health booster, an energy source, and a shelf-stable morale lifter that smart preppers never overlook. Let's start with the basics. Unsweetened cocoa powder is made from roasted ground cacao beans and contains 0 sugar, meaning you're storing pure chocolate flavor in powdered form. As of May 2025, cocoa powder offers roughly 12 calories per tablespoon, with 1 gram of protein and nearly 0 fat or carbs, making it incredibly versatile for everything from hot drinks to baking to DIY trail bars. But the real reason this makes the list: psychological resilience. In high-stress environments, familiar comforts matter. A cup of hot cocoa, even unsweetened with powdered milk and a bit of honey, can lift spirits, soothe anxiety, and give your body a momentary mental break. Research shows that dark cocoa contains flavonoids, compounds known to support brain function and mood regulation, an often overlooked benefit in crisis situations. Shelf life is another huge win. When stored in an airtight container in a cool, dry place, cocoa powder can last up to 3 years, sometimes longer, without losing potency or flavor. And unlike chocolate bars, it won't melt, spoil, or degrade in fluctuating temperatures. It's also compact, lightweight, and barter-worthy. When sugar becomes scarce or luxuries vanish from shelves, cocoa powder will retain value, not just nutritionally, but emotionally. Most people treat cocoa powder as a baking ingredient. Preppers know better. It's a morale weapon, a flavor enhancer, and a long-term staple rolled into one. Because sometimes surviving means more than just eating, it means feeling human again. Number 9. Cocoa powder. In a world of emergency rations and freeze-dried meals, few things feel indulgent. But cocoa powder? That's a survival wildcard that checks far more boxes than most realize. It's not just a treat, it's a mental health booster, an energy source, and a shelf-stable morale lifter that smart preppers never overlook. Let's start with the basics. Unsweetened cocoa powder is made from roasted ground cacao beans and contains 0 sugar, meaning you're storing pure chocolate flavor in powdered form. As of May 2025, cocoa powder offers roughly 12 calories per tablespoon, with 1 gram of protein and nearly 0 fat or carbs, making it incredibly versatile for everything from hot drinks to baking to DIY trail bars. But the real reason this makes the list: psychological resilience. In high-stress environments, familiar comforts matter. A cup of hot cocoa, even unsweetened with powdered milk and a bit of honey, can lift spirits, soothe anxiety, and give your body a momentary mental break. Research shows that dark cocoa contains flavonoids, compounds known to support brain function and mood regulation, an often overlooked benefit in crisis situations. Shelf life is another huge win. When stored in an airtight container in a cool, dry place, cocoa powder can last up to 3 years, sometimes longer, without losing potency or flavor. And unlike chocolate bars, it won't melt, spoil, or degrade in fluctuating temperatures. It's also compact, lightweight, and barter-worthy. When sugar becomes scarce or luxuries vanish from shelves, cocoa powder will retain value, not just nutritionally, but emotionally. Most people treat cocoa powder as a baking ingredient. Preppers know better. It's a morale weapon, a flavor enhancer, and a long-term staple rolled into one. Because sometimes surviving means more than just eating. It means feeling human again. Number 10. Bouillon cubes. They're small, cheap, easy to overlook. But bouillon cubes might just be the unsung heroes of your entire emergency food supply. When you're living off rice, lentils, or dehydrated vegetables, flavor fatigue becomes real and fast. That's where these compact flavor bombs step in, transforming bland staples into meals you'll actually want to eat. As of May 2025, one bouillon cube costs around 10 to 15 cents, depending on the brand and type. Yet it can season an entire pot of soup, stew, or grains, stretching your resources without sacrificing taste. They come in a variety of options: chicken, beef, vegetable, even low-sodium versions. And while they may not provide heavy nutrition, they're invaluable for maintaining morale and appetite when fresh food isn't available. Shelf life? That's the real kicker. Properly stored in a cool, dry place, bouillon cubes can last 10 years or more, especially if vacuum-sealed or kept in Mylar bags. They require zero prep, zero refrigeration, and virtually no space, making them ideal for bug-out bags, car kits, or long-term storage bins. But there's more to them than flavor. Many bouillon cubes include trace minerals and salt, crucial for electrolyte balance during high-stress or high-exertion scenarios. In survival mode, you'll need more than just calories. You'll need to stay hydrated and avoid cramping or fatigue. Most grocery shoppers overlook bouillon entirely. Now that you know which foods seasoned preppers are quietly stashing before the next wave of shortages hits, it's time to act. These aren't just about calories. They're about building real resilience. If this list gave you an edge, drop a comment with what you're adding to your pantry. And don't forget to subscribe for more strategic prepping insights coming your way each week. Stay prepared, stay smart.